Meg, you are truly an incredible journalist, and I've been lucky to know you for a long time, and I've seen not only your growth in your own craft, in popularity, but also you've just done some incredible and important work that I've really admired. And I don't say that lightly. Obviously, the article, the NWSL kind of scandal and everything that
Hmm.
happened there. But then you also recently wrote an article about the U.S. women's national team getting knocked out of the World Cup, and I recommend everybody to check it out on the Athletic. But this is I kind of want to have this, especially now that you've had a little bit of time, now that you're back home.
Hmm.
Just looking back a little bit, because the experience. I was talking to Jessica Smetana yesterday. She was on the show, and I basically made the example that we cover women's soccer on this show from time to time. We're stand-up comedians that talk about this sport. I don't think the bar is incredibly high for us as as maybe some journalists, but people tend to appreciate the fact that we show some love to the women's game. But we've never done 30 straight days of covering
Hmm.
women's soccer, and it's been an interesting aspect of sort of our lives and our careers, where people are really upset that we seem to be talking about women's soccer for 30 days straight, where it has brought in
How dare you? You're a gender traitor, actually. Like that's what it is. You're
yeah,
just
yeah,
a
I
gender
mean,
traitor, and
so people, the manosphere is upset with us, and but I basically said, like, when you cover women's soccer for 30 days straight, you essentially feel like a woman on the internet, right? Who deals with a lot of
yeah.
criticism and judgment over anything that you really do. But this has been a unique time. So we're not used to seeing the U.S. women's national team lose, and it's been it's brought out the crazies, the weirdos, the people who definitely don't even watch
No,
games. They
yeah.
don't watch soccer, but they have a lot of opinions on women's soccer. So when you were writing an article and just kind of sifting through all this stuff, I'm sure it feels kind of gross. But what was it? What was
Yeah.
yeah? How'd it go? How'd you
I
do it?
mean, what was kind of nice about being over there, and so I wrote that column literally my last night in Australia. Like I was getting on a plane the next morning out of Sydney to go back home. And um, that last day I had flown from Melbourne to Sydney just to basically put myself in proximity to the airport. And I was like, I'm gonna book myself a nice little beach hotel and do this nice, beautiful coastal walk. And I had, I think, my first beer, honestly, in like probably 2 weeks because I got sick over there. So like
A
I
Coors Light,
put myself
obviously.
in the
Obviously, it's a
best.
Coors Light, so we all know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Coors Light, very popular in Australia, famously. But I tried to like put myself in like this good, calm mental space before I got myself kind of very revved up again. Because one of the other things too is we were kind of watching throughout the tournament that there was this brewing rehash of some of the 2019 stuff, right? Like suddenly there was this new discussion about, well, they're not singing for the anthem. And we were trying, like, we were all kind of talking to each other across like the media group of like, are you touching it? I don't want to touch it. Like,
Right.
it's not people who care about the team. It's a bad faith attack. Like, if we give it oxygen, it takes off. Like, we don't want it to kind of pierce the bubble that we're in. So basically, we kind of like put something together in case the issue got forced.
Mm.
And so I took a lot of what I had kind of put into place there and just started expanding it in terms of, this was it was a moment that just a lot of people have been waiting for 4 years, right? And Megan Rapinoe is obviously just like a lightning rod of a person, but I think there is some comfort in the fact that it shows that they have cultural power in the US, that they are a threat
Right.
to a
Right.
certain segment of the population because, first of all, like, and it really is this simple that they are women, but they are successful women, that they had this moment of failure, right? Which happens in sports, but suddenly it becoming about, well, they didn't sing for the anthem, they're deeply unpatriotic. You have Donald Trump popping up, and like so much of it too is also it's a distraction from the fact that he's being indicted left and right, right? Like Nikki Haley trying to like glom onto something when she doesn't have good approval numbers right at the moment. She's trying to run for president. Like so much of it is just, I think I use the word craven, right? Like it's manufactured and it's just to score a point. And I think sometimes we forget that these are actual human beings on the other side of it. And that, I just think about like what's happened with Brittany Griner, right, in the WNBA, and that she, like, her physical safety is currently in question. And so, and I've seen this for Megan Rapinoe, right? Like Megan Rapinoe has to have like extra security at games, and this is already the case. And now I think I'm honestly even more worried about it now, right? Because I think they do sense this kind of weakness or vulnerability. And so the column was not necessarily fun to write, but I think, I give full credit to my editor, Alex Abnos at The Athletic, because I kept joking, like the Key and Peele skit, like he was my anger translator, where I was just like truly like throwing fire. And I was like, I don't think I'm allowed to be this spicy. So you have to like bring it back into a level where it is going to like actually be published. But yeah, it was, I think it just kind of, you don't want to give it weight. You don't want to give those comments weight, but also at some point, I think you have to have a reality check. That's all it was.
It's an interesting thing of like, the not singing for the anthem, right? Which is like, I mean, did you watch? Like, if the people watch, if they actually did watch, plenty of countries didn't sing people didn't sing the anthem, or some did, some didn't.
Some players do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, like, I have always found this fascinating too, because, and to be fair, I'm not an elite athlete in any way, and never could be, because my brain is not wired that way. But like, if I'm about to play in a World Cup game, honestly, my last thought is probably about singing that national anthem.
I'm just trying to nail this anthem. I just gotta warm up my vocals before the game.
Right. So it's also like just not required. It's not required that
Right. Yeah,
it's made up.
Yeah,
it's made
yeah, and that's sort of the thing of it being manufactured. There's always like a moving of goalposts, like it's like, I mean, I hope we all like collectively understand that normal people don't get upset about this stuff. Like reasonable people don't care. Like I mean, and whether you're very patriotic or not, wherever you lie on any political spectrum, like it's deeply unimportant whether people sing anthems or not. And when it,
to be fair, also our anthem is terrible. Like it's terrible.
It doesn't even slap like that. Why?
No, it's not France. It's not like, there's better ones.
I'll be honest. I don't even have the national anthem on my Spotify playlist, and if I'm un-American because of that, I mean, then it is what it is.
Yeah.